Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 or less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome into the Big Blue Breakdown, episode number 53 here on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Make sure to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notifications. Follow us on social media on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Today, we have a very, very special guest on in Paul, a host of the Bleed Blue Network. Go ahead and just tell the people what you do over there.
Hey man, thanks for having me on. We we have fun. We kind of started this through when Cal left, and it just kind of morphed into something fun. It's really kind of by fans for fans. We've had some learning curves along the way with stuff. We knew some people as well and around the program, stuff like that. So we were able to get some information. Some of the learning bumps were how to disseminate that information. But we've learned since then, and now really just, really more focusing on the fan perspective and enjoying it. Still get information, but I just, it was fun to break stories and stuff, but now it's kind of like, it's having fun. And, I think originally we wanted to do something like Barstool-esque around Kentucky, and I think that's still kind of the nature of how things will kind of start to shape out. But if we get anything fun, recruiting wise, especially around football, we'll share it. But the main thing is have fun, be real. I don't engagement bait like some people do. I know some people post stuff just for that. I don't like to do that. It's just fun. Like it's Twitter, man. It's Kentucky. It should just be fun, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. Post a lot of really, really good things on X, like a lot of informational things as well that Kentucky fans should know about. I think so many Kentucky fans are just so. I know a lot of them aren't. I don't want to say hyped up for this season.
Emotional.
Yeah.
We're emotional. We're an emotional bunch.
But
we're an emotional bunch.
They don't like. I think we overreact a lot as well, for sure. But just speaking on that, what is one thing that you liked from the Cats this weekend, and then what's one thing that you disliked?
I coming into the season, so I had a lot of info around this class. Broke a lot of stories of the transfers that were coming in before a lot of other people did. Did a lot of research about the class. So I kind of had some intimate knowledge about what that was. And the defensive line was one that I was really excited about kind of out the chute. David Gusta, Cam Olds, uh, those guys were people that I were really excited about. Cam Olds gave Penn State the business last year
Yeah, he did.
when he was
Didn't he
at
have a
Kent
pick in that
State.
game?
I think he might have. He had a
Yeah.
couple sacks, and he just played. He played extremely well, right? So, I was very. I thought the defensive line was going to be good. I couldn't believe how good they were. Souls, I think, took a big jump just in his
Mhm.
speed. I mean, last year he was trying, I think, to finesse guys. This year, well, I mean, just one game, obviously, but you could see he was using his speed with finesse moves, but quick and then quick moves. Had a nice swim moves. Two. I think he had what, 3 sacks, 2 strip
Yeah.
sacks. He was a disruptor, but that whole D line was incredible. Getting that timeout on 4th and 1, I think before they ran it, letting the defense kind of catch its breath, getting it back in, blew the line up. I think I saw something that they had pressure on like 66 or 67% of dropbacks, which is incredible. They're
It's
the
insane.
highest rated D line in the country last week. People can walk around and say, "Oh, it was Toledo." And like number one, the MAC puts out an astronomical amount of NFL offensive linemen, and they were picked to win. They're picked to win the MAC, and a lot of people thought that they would be Kentucky. And I've seen a lot of people out there think that they were going to be maybe even the G5 playoff winner. So I really like that the defense, or not playoff winner, the G5 to get in the playoffs from the G5. I really like that. I didn't like, obviously, and this is what everybody else thought. I didn't like. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say the passing game, but I put it on the
Right.
wide receivers.
Yeah.
Looking at film and tape and things like that. Van did a video and it stuck with me. It's where he's looking through and you see him go through his progressions, and that's something we didn't see last year, right? Like Brock would hone in on a guy or I think the offensive line was so bad that his internal ticker wasn't great. And he only had a slot fade to K Law, and he overthrew it, I think. But and people killed him on some stuff. But even on the pick, Stellato, I think, rounds his route off when you're looking at a short, a third and medium, third and short. You got to
Yeah.
get to the stick. You got to hit it. You can't round them off. So I think the wide receiver play was the thing I was the most disappointed about, which is wild because there's three plays in that game where it changes your whole perception.
Yep.
If Harley Gilmore catches the ball, by the way, I don't
That
know
was
if
a
anybody
bomb.
go watch that, go rewatch that throw. He throws it under pressure, back heel, 60 yards in the air with the flick of his wrist. That is an elite arm. Like Calzad has an elite arm. The first throw he makes to Macklin for the first down was an elite throw. Hester, the one on the sidelines, I have not seen a replay to see how that was out of bounds. And then the one to K Law where he was out of bounds. But like if those, even two of those three are catches, right? Um, yeah, and we don't fumble, maybe we
Yeah.
complete more, maybe we score. So I think it's less on Zach than it was on the wide receivers because you could have a really good quarterback, and if they're not getting open, now with that said, he missed plays, but
Right.
I think the wide receivers missed more than that. So if I'm looking at that, I'm looking at more of the same from the defense, and the wide receivers need to really improve.
I would agree. I think the whole perception just around the passing game changes if you get two of those deep balls caught. Just totally changes
Mm-hmm.
how people see that the passing game play out. And another big one was I think we would have ended up scoring if Willie didn't fumble on that. We were at in the
Mm-hmm.
we were past the 20-yard line at that point. Maybe
No, no, no,
it
no.
was
We had just that was just getting. I think he fumbled at like the 39,
oh
something
okay.
like that. It
Okay.
was, but if he doesn't fumble, we're 5 to 10 yards away from a field goal try too. So
Yeah.
Willie, that play threw us off. We were driving. I think it was 10-2 at that point. If we go down, if they score at 17, there was a lot of that felt like we left a lot on the field.
Yeah. I would agree. And again, that bomb to Hardley Gilmore, where it hit the tip of his fingers. And I think there was
Double covered.
yes, it
Double
was
covered.
yes, yes, in the back of the end zone. It was perfectly placed. And then,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, the ball to Jamori Macklin at the very beginning of the game, perfectly layered ball to him
Split the
towards the
zone.
sideline. Yes.
Yep. Splits the zone on the high and the low.
Yeah.
Um, and puts it where the thing that I liked is he put balls where only the receivers could get it.
Yeah.
And you might say, "Oh, he overthrew." Okay, I mean, would you want him to overthrow by a yard and a half and
Or
it's
turn the ball
incomplete, or
over.
do you want to underthrow by 3 yards and it's turned over? Oh, I want it perfect. All right, cool. Like we all want it perfect, but with it's tight coverage, you got to overthrow him a little bit and see if he can make a play. Like that's what you got to do.
Right. I completely agree. I thought so. I'm not going to put this as my number one thing that I liked, but I loved what I've seen from the tight ends. Like we talked about for the last
Mhm.
3 to 4 years, that the tight ends have been very, very underutilized, just tremendously underutilized.
Yep.
And they had 5 out of the 8 catches for Zach in this game, or
I
for
think
Zach.
they had 79 of the 85
Yeah,
yards is what it was because he only had 85 yards passing, which
yeah,
is not phenomenal. But they had like 90% of it.
yeah. I mean, Josh Caddis looked really good. Willie looked really good, except for that fumble. Like, I thought they looked good. It's just we need to see those wide receivers step up and make some of those catches. Um,
Mhm.
I I actually
You got
liked
to
what
get
I
separation. They got
yeah,
to get separation more than that. I don't know if catching's the problem. I think it was the separation that was the issue.
yeah, and he had nowhere to throw it except for
Correct.
pass them and try to go get that ball.
Yep.
I was actually at the game and I got to see the pass to Kendrick Law in the back of the end zone where it was a penalty, but he ended up catching it.
Hmm.
I like that. Like, how many times did we ended up? I think JJ Hester was the number one targeted receiver in this game. I didn't see that coming in. I think KSR talked about that, and I think JJ Hester needs to play more. I think we need to try to get the ball into Kendrick Law's hands a lot more than we did in this one. Also, I don't want to put it on Bush Hamden, but I think we need to get him in a little bit more of a rhythm.
Yeah. I mean,
Just some
there was
quicker
some,
passes.
it was questionable, like some of the
Yeah,
play calling.
yeah. But I my favorite thing was the obviously the defense, but I'm gonna go with the running game just for a positive on the offense side of the ball. I thought the offensive line blocked very, very well for our running backs in this game. I really, really liked what I saw from the 1-2 punch in Seth McGowan and in Dante Dowdle. I don't think Jason Patterson got a touch, but he
I don't
was
think he
in the
did.
game a couple of plays. I really like that right there. I believe Seth McGowan had a drop as well, like just right in his hands that he dropped.
McGowan didn't have a draw, kind of, but that
Yeah,
was one of those plays where Calzada needs to make a better decision on that third down. He missed the guy coming out of the break, and he
yeah,
kind of rushed too much, and then he waited too long to throw it to McGowan. If he hits, I think it's K-Law coming out of the break. It's 10, 15 yards, and it's a first down. If
yeah,
he hits McGowan, it's a first down, but he waited too long. I think he threw a little low and behind him too. Maybe McGowan could have made a better effort.
right.
Um, but that was something that was 100% on Calzada.
Yeah. Just overall, the to me, I love what I've seen from the defense. I love what I've seen. I think the offensive line played very, very well. There was no sacks in this game. The time that he got
No
pressured,
penalties.
no, exactly. We didn't really beat ourselves in the way of penalties. Like I think our only
Mm,
penalty was at the very beginning of the game with Macklin.
yeah. We had, I think we had 3 penalties. Like I'm looking at the box score.
I wasn't there one
Um,
of running into the kicker, the punter.
yeah, there's a running. We had three
Yeah,
penalties for 30 yards. There's the running into the kicker. Um, you had the hold, and did we have like a procedural penalty? I can't remember.
I can't
They
remember
were
either.
very minuscule. They didn't
Yeah,
hurt Kentucky at all during the game.
right. Again, I love what I've seen from the defense. Our defensive line just looked elite. If I'm like, I know we're playing Toledo. I know when people say that, but this team was receiving votes to get into the AP top 25. This team is projected to win the MAC, which is probably the best conference in G5. Like, I liked what I saw. I know the passing game needs to get better, but I want to go and move on to what are your initial thoughts on Kentucky and Ole Miss? Like, do you like the storyline going into this game, and just like what are your overall thoughts right now?
Um, I I like a couple things about the game. One, you're playing a quarterback in his first true road start. He's 19 years old. He's a young kid. I mean, a lot of talent. But we've seen the atmosphere Kroger Field can bring. You go back several years ago against like the 10 false start penalties against Florida. Play where everyone talks about the blue white game against Florida. Georgia last year was incredible. I mean, that may one of the best crowds I've heard,
Yeah.
which was shocking coming off getting absolutely ass spanked by South Carolina the week before. Um, if that crowd shows up, I'm very optimistic.
Me
I
as
think the
well.
defensive line is going to cause havoc. Lane Kiffin can talk a lot about, we've prepared for this game all year. I don't care how they played against Toledo. This is the most prepared for any game we've ever had, blah, blah, blah. That's great. Number one, your offensive line is not in a position, I
No.
think, with what our D line. If our D line gets pressures on anywhere between 40 to 50% of the snaps, they're in a lot of trouble. They're going to make him uncomfortable. Number two, we've heard all spring that he's turnover prone. He had 200 receptions last week. Obviously, he threw for a bunch of yards, but we're playing Georgia State. Georgia State picked finished last. I think it was in the Sun Belt or something like that. So they're not a very good football team.
No.
Obviously,
Nothing compared to Toledo.
nothing.
No.
If you're looking at the two sides and like where you're looking at Kentucky, and I know like the cynic Kentucky fans will be like, "Oh, we got to score 50 points." Like, first of all, Ole Miss was the number one scoring team in the nation when Kentucky played them last year. Kentucky held them to 17 points. I don't think our pass rush was anywhere as good
No.
last year as this year. Now you could argue the run defense might have been better. That's the thing. Great. Okay. The same cornerback secondary that played against Ole Miss last year is back. So you've got that experience. You're gonna have a confidence level there. And I think the other thing about it is Ole Miss's D line is another thing. Like they're not particularly great in theory against the run. They could be. They could have a game. You never know. Obviously, we're looking at film and history and things like that. So I think Kentucky, and if you look at some of the projections that I've seen with like either AI projections or just college football things like that on who has the upper hand and stuff, they go UK O line advantage Kentucky, the D line advantage Kentucky,
Yeah.
running game advantage Kentucky. Obviously, passing game you're going to go advantage Ole Miss. I think kicking game is a little neutral, although this team, I think, has the ability to make games ugly and frustrating for a team like Ole Miss. If
Yeah.
they can get Ole Miss into 3-and-outs, Kentucky can hold the ball. They can do that field position. Laros is a weapon. You're seeing why he was I think it was a D2 All-American or punter of the year, whatever.
Yeah.
He's incredible. So I really like all of that coming into the game. They have a ton of talent. They brought in more guys than we did, I think. So the team's got a lot of turnover. So it shapes up well. But you got to come and play, and the crowd's gotta be into it. And if they don't play Grove Street, when you hear, as soon as you hear, you'll never leave Harlan alive. If Waka Flocka doesn't come in on right after that, like, I don't think the stadium's going to be electric. You need to have the crowd going. I think they will be. I think the fan base is going to give this team a shot. And then it's kind of all bets are off. And we're going to see what happens. But I do think Kentucky has a more than fair shot of winning this game.
Yeah. I don't even know why they would ever take out that song. What thought crosses their mind right there?
You see a whole lot of people who think they're really smart and do a lot of things that make you look really stupid. And I don't know, maybe it was one where they thought it would be fun to mix it up. I think it was the intro from like 07,
Yeah.
06. Didn't remember. It's like the one tradition we have that was natural. So like, why are we effing this up? Just like, let it just go. Just play Grove Street. You had old people talking about where's the party song and everything. So like, yeah.
Yeah. The fans in this game are going to play a very big part
Mhm.
in
Yep.
this. Some people like to me, a lot of people, if you win this game, are still not going to jump on board for this team. I think
Yeah,
a
but those
lot of
people are miserable.
yeah,
Those people
yeah.
are miserable.
I did my last video. I did like, what if Kentucky wins? Like, what does that look like? I looked at the schedule. And I looked at the fans. I think I said like 90% of fans would jump on, but there'll still be a select few that don't. I think
But
if
would
you
they
win,
ever jump on? You have the
right,
basketball only crowd that makes no
I
sense
hate
to
that
me.
so much.
Like if there was two cockroaches running on the wall and one had a Kentucky logo, the other one had a Louisville logo, I'd root like hell for the cockroach with the Kentucky logo before I killed both of them. Like I root for Kentucky in anything. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like it doesn't matter. Like root for your school. And I'll never support them while Stoops is here. You know what? This is who you're
more than
supporting,
Stoops.
right?
Yeah,
Nebraska has had a terrible run and their stadium is 85,000 just about every single week.
yeah,
It's the mentality that I've said that Kentucky fans need to get is you show up, be loud, create the atmosphere. Then you're creating a culture, you're creating a winning attitude, and it doesn't matter who the coach is. Now, the buyout's very prohibitive no matter what happens. I mean, Mark could lose this game and every other game, and we can't fire him. So,
right. Yeah,
and I'm not saying that to defend Mark. I'm saying that this is just the reality of the situation. But I think the fans will be excited. I think if they win this game and go into South Carolina 3-0, right?
that'd
They'd
be
be
very
3-0.
fun.
Even if they lose to South Carolina, Georgia, and Texas, 3 games, 2 on the road to essentially what will probably be top 10 teams. If it's competitive, I think when it comes back here for Florida, Tennessee, I think they'll be still very engaged
Yeah,
because I think they'll see potential. And it's like, all right, the first half we went 3-3. The back half we have a bunch of home games. You get Florida in November for the first time in 4 decades, 3 or 4 decades. Florida hasn't won a cold weather game in November north of like Georgia and I don't know how long. So I think they stay engaged, but this is a big pivot game. I think they have a good chance in other games like South Carolina too, but it's gonna be interesting.
yeah. I just think it changes at least a lot of people's just perception on the year if you win this game. I think it
Mhm.
makes a 5 to 6 win season look a lot clearer, at least in my mind, because I see right now, and I'm not guaranteeing this, but I see Vanderbilt as a win right now. I see Eastern Michigan and Tennessee Tech, and that's 5 right there if you win this Ole Miss game. And like you'd have to obviously beat a team like Louisville, and we've been so good on the road against Louisville for the past 10 years.
We've owned that stadium.
I think it's literally been a decade since they beat us at home because we beat them in
We beat them
2016 with
there
Lamar. Yeah,
since we've lost there. I think it was the last time was 2014.
yes. I think that's a very winnable game, and I think a team like we could upset a team like Tennessee at home or a Florida at home. Possibly. I mean, I think Auburn's solid this year, but I think once we get to that game, we're just gonna have to see where they are. And
Auburn looked suspect. Like they
yeah,
scored a lot of points, but Baylor gives up a lot of points. Auburn gave up a lot of points.
yeah,
I think you'll learn more about Auburn when they play some tougher competition.
yeah,
I think you're right. I think you gotta. I think you expand it a little bit when you look at the schedule. Even after week 1, I think you look at how we played and how everybody else played, and people are like, you see we play, we ain't gonna beat nobody, right? Like, okay, chill out, Theodore. Like, I think you look at the line, the defensive line. The defense, I think, is good enough to win a lot of games. I think you have a lot. I think Kentucky has 10 top. I think they had they had 3 locks. I thought there was 3 locks. I mean, it
yeah,
was Tennessee Tech, Eastern Michigan, and Toledo. I never thought they would lose to Toledo. So there's 3. Um, I like Vandy as well. I think we're a much better team than Vandy. We play well down there. I like that game. And then I think you got so there's 4 games there. I think 2 you just say we're unless God comes down, we're not winning, and that's Florida and Texas. All right,
yeah,
so there's 6 games. That gives you 6 more, I think, that are toss-ups. You look at Florida's schedule, you look at the gauntlet that they go through. There's no way they're coming out of that unscathed. I mean, if they Florida, I think I looked at could come into Rupp at or not Rupp, sorry, to Kroger Field like 3-5 or 2-6. Like it's legit. They
yeah.
come
They
into
got a
Kroger
tough
Field.
competition this weekend as well.
Yeah, listen, South Florida's
Yeah,
not going to roll over for them either. Like
no,
South Florida's got it, and they look much improved. I'm not saying they'll win. I think they'll cover. I think 17 is a big number, but we'll see. You look at Tennessee, and people go, oh, look at Tennessee. I'm like, I mean, they beat one of the low tier ACC teams, and it was in doubt in the fourth quarter. Like, okay, like they gave up points, they gave up
right.
yards. Um, Auburn again, like we talked about Auburn, Florida. Um, South Carolina, I don't know how they moved up in the rankings. I thought they did. I didn't think South Carolina looked worth
Their whole
worth
line
the
looked
toss.
terrible.
I'm telling you right now, if that O line is the O line that we play when we go to Columbia, Lenora Sellers better turn into Cam Newton or Tim Tebow
Yeah.
or something or Michael Vick because they're going to be in that. They're going to be in his you know what all game. And Kentucky does not believe. And I'm telling you right now, Lenora Sellers is. I saw somebody has he's number 2 for the Heisman right now. Like, how? Like he hit a bomb and he was missing throws. Like you put that guy under pressure, he's going to get turnovers. Granted, South Carolina, it's night. It's probably I think it's a night game, but we've played well in
Yeah.
South Carolina as well. Like even the last game we lost, it was 17-14. Like South Carolina has not played well there. That line game I think is huge. So I think there's a lot of winnable games that Kentucky can be in, but the margins are going to be small, right? This is the week we learn a lot. If they win, listen, Kentucky pulls like what if Kentucky, like you said, what if they win? What if Kentucky does what South Carolina did last year? Plays
Exactly.
a team. Now they played a
Old Dominion.
dog piss Old Dominion team.
Yeah.
Old Dominion went 5-7. They weren't good. Had to hold on at the last drive. Had to get a sack at the end to win the game, and then comes in and beats the pants off of us and wins 9. What if Kentucky
Yep.
does that? What if we do that to Ole Miss? Right.
Yep.
The whole narrative. So I think it's also how we win, how we play.
Yep.
If
I
they
would agree.
lose, if it's close, if it's competitive, that's stuff to build on. I think there's a lot with this team, this fan base that goes. But if they get spanked, which I don't think is impossible. I think this
No.
team can beat almost anyone and lose to almost anyone. I think our margins losing are higher than winning. So it's going to be interesting, and but that's why you line up and play, right?
Yeah. So for our last kind of topic here, like speaking of the Ole Miss game now, how would Kentucky pull off the upset? This is a two-part question. And what makes you feel confident that they can?
Controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides.
Yep.
If they do that, they're going to be in. Um, Kentucky, I think is the deep. I think this is the deepest team Kentucky's had across the board. Maybe save the O line, where there's a couple guys we can't replace if they were to get hurt. Running back room is loaded. It's a little less loaded now, but they still got 3 guys there. So I think the line of scrimmage is key. If they can establish the run, like they don't have to run for 5.1 like they did this week. They run for 4.8, 4.5. They average 4 or 5 yards carry. Ole Miss could be in for a long game, and you know what Mark's going to do. He wants to make this game ugly.
Yep.
He wants to slow. That tempo can also bite your team in the ass too, because if Kentucky can get after them, and they get 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, Kentucky can start to put together. Even if Kentucky doesn't score, put together 2 or 3 first downs, punt, pin them back, get it back, punt.
Just like the
play
Georgia
the field
game.
just like
Yes.
Well, and hopefully we score a touchdown. But you can make it ugly. But the biggest difference between Georgia can win games ugly. Like they didn't care. Like
Right.
That's where I think you really frustrate this. Why I'm confident that I think Kentucky can win. I mean, dude, this team's got a lot of talent on it. Like when people don't want to like talk. I mean, they have the number 10 transfer class, and I think they have like if you look at overall talent, like this is the weird metrics out there, right? Like Kentucky's like 25th and like was preseason like top 25 and roster talent, but people are thinking that they're not going to be good. We really don't know what we have. I mean, we saw the D line being great.
Right.
We know what we kind of have in the secondary. I think we saw what I knew. I think you knew what you were probably going to get with McGowan and Dowdell because you got 2 former top 15 running backs in the nation out of high school. The O-line, I think, is really good. So I think the experience, but most of them, why I'm confident they can win most of all is because I think Kentucky's defense can wreak a lot of havoc. And that is something that, plus history,
Yeah.
last 4 games against Ole Miss
So
have been 10
close.
points or less.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 points, period, in the last 4 games. So historically, we play them close. I think it's the style. I think it's the counter styles between Ole Miss plays and how Kentucky plays creates a closer game. So I'm excited. I'm going into this game expecting to win.
Yeah.
Like I don't have this hope to win. I think Kentucky can win.
Yeah.
And then, blow the whistle and see what happens.
Yeah. I think, again, like you said, just dominate up front. And you're going to have to, like, this game is going to be ugly if Kentucky is going to win it. But I think a big part of this, win or lose, we have to see the offense be capable in the pass game. Like
Mhm.
they have to look okay in the pass game in this game. At least to
He's
me,
got to go for 150 plus at
that
least because, and I say that with you still got to rush for 200 plus,
yeah,
right? Like you
yeah,
got to have 350 yards with 150 being in the air.
yeah.
But if he
And we're gonna
hits
have to
four or
pass to
five
win
of
it.
them, he hits four or five of them. Now you're in the 200s too. I mean, what did I mean? Brock threw for 247 against them last year and a
Yeah,
tutty. So I mean, like if there's a vulnerable spot on that team, I think I think Kentucky could potentially maybe do some stuff at least on the ground for sure.
yeah. I don't think Ole Miss is as good as they were last year. I think they lose an absolute ton in
Mm-hmm.
like Princely and Miami Ellen, Walter Nolan, obviously Jackson Dart and Trey Harris
Mm-hmm.
on the outside. And I think we have a better team than
I
we had
agree.
last year. Not as maybe we're not as talented on the outside in wide receivers, but I think just the overall play of this team will be better than last year's. To me, you kind of bring those together, and then you like. I know we haven't won a home game, SEC home game in a while, but I think just adding those two things together, I think we can win this game. Like just straight up, I think going into this game, what was it? Style makes fight, or what was it? Something like that. It's kind of a quote like that, but like if we're able to slow them down
Mm-hmm.
and we don't give them as many possessions as they want to just run up and down the field, we have a very, very good shot in this game. But we
Agree.
can't make this a race up and down the field because we're going to lose that game. They're too good on offense for
Watch,
us.
we'll win in a shootout. Watch something crazy. Everyone's expecting this to be ugly, and Kentucky's going to win like 42-38.
Yeah, the quarterback coach for Kentucky said Zach Calzada likes a shootout. Well,
Might get. I don't want you don't want to get into a track meet with them
right.
because they're built for that. But if you can get into a little bit of tempo and but control,
Yeah.
right? Like you go on 4 minute drives, 5 minute drives. I mean,
And you're
but look,
scoring
yeah,
consistently.
I talked to some guys on the team and they were frustrated offensively. They're saying that this week of practice they're really locked in. Nick Saban was talking about this. I heard Saban talk about this 2 or 3 days ago, saying that the biggest jump you have is between week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
So I think you just throw some of it out. Some people go, well, look at the scores of some of these. I'm like, yeah, well, look at the games of others. I mean, like South Carolina looked like crap. I mean, if it wasn't for a punt return and a bomb in the fourth quarter, that game's that's a
Was it 10-8 at
it's
half?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That game's like 14 to, or I think it was like 13-11 or something like that at one point. So I mean, that game's ugly. If he hits them, I mean he does. God bless him, he hits them. They get it. But there's a lot of games like that. I mean, Miami looked really good for 3 quarters, and they looked like they were stupid for the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Notre Dame looked really bad, then they look good, right? Like, so you're going to get these waves of things. I think the transfer portal comes into that a lot more. If you have a talented team against a talented team, Toledo has been a team that's been together for the most part for 3 years, so that also changes. So I think you're going to see a lot more of who Kentucky actually is this weekend than you
Yeah.
did last week.
We're gonna know. I don't want to say that we're gonna know exactly what this team looks like moving forward, but we're gonna have a very, very good understanding of what
Mhm.
our strengths are and what our weaknesses are on this team. You're gonna have to be able to run the ball effectively,
Yep.
and we're going to have to hit a couple of shots downfield for us to win this game.
Yes.
The defense has to create pressure because Austin Simmons had 2 turnovers in the last game. One wasn't his fault, but he got hit. Like Georgia State was able to create consistent pressure on him all night. I know they blew
Tick
them out of the
tock,
water.
tick tock, tick tock, right? Like you
Yep.
get that head clock going in a young kid, and you have that crowd if that crowd starts going and then
Yep.
his ticker gets going, you can really make him make some mistakes.
Yeah. I completely agree. And just like when Gleason got strip sacked twice, was it twice or 3 times? And he
Three
jumped.
times.
He able to jump right on it. If we do that to Austin Simmons and we jump on it once, I I, I love it. I love it. Um, I think we have a really good shot. And I'm just hopeful that the fans show up and show out because that's a very, very big part of it. Um, Do you have any final thoughts going into this Ole Miss game that you would like to tell everybody before we hop off here?
Show up, be
Yeah,
loud, have fun. Football only comes around once a year. But I really like our chances.
I do too.
I've predicted I think Kentucky wins 24-20. Um, I've heard some others in that realm. I don't know why. I feel like we match up really well here because I feel like their D line and their O line with what we've got right now, I think we have a massive advantage. And if you can dominate the lines of scrimmage, it's really hard to win.
Yeah,
Um, but historically, in the last four meetings, three out of the last four teams that have won the turnover battle have won the game. So that's going to be
yep.
crucial. So Kentucky creating those havoc plays,
Getting that
immediate
pressure on
turnovers,
him.
it's going to be key.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
Wait, I was about to, I just had something I was about to say. I think I just lost it, but um, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if we are able to, I think to me, we have to be able to get the ball out to our playmakers quickly in this game. I feel like
Mhm.
that's something that we did not do last game. Just,
Yeah.
I know we had that, is a
Or did
jet
we
sweep.
not want to show it?
Yeah.
I mean, Kendrick
That's,
Law, there
I
we
thought we
didn't show
played
anything
very
with K
simple.
Law.
Yeah.
I did too. I did too. I mean, even the vertical passes we make, there was
Yep.
nothing exotic there.
Hand the
Maybe
ball
we didn't
off.
show a lot. Maybe
Yep.
we didn't show a lot. I felt like Kentucky controlled the game the whole time and never felt like it was in doubt.
No,
So we'll see. Maybe like this is the week that I think you see more of that. Like we didn't throw one bubble screen.
no.
We
We
tried
had
one
one
end
jet sweep.
around,
Yeah. Yep.
and he had one where he had Law on that like that motion. He could have kicked it out to him, and he probably would have been a big play, but we didn't do it. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Maybe we get a little bit more creative in this one. Um, I just think they've lost so much from last year. I think we're better than we were last year.
Hmm.
I really, really like our matchup, and we've again the history. I think history repeats itself here, and it ends up being a very, very close game. And if it's in the 20s, I like us a lot in this game.
I do too.
Um, but I believe that is going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
man.
jumping on here. It means a
No
lot, man.
problem. Yeah,
Um,
anytime. Happy to come on again.
okay. Well, just go. Everybody, just make sure to go check him out. I'm gonna post everything and link in the description. You got a website as well that you post on there, or
It's bluebluenetwork.com. We haven't
yeah,
posted. It's sporadic, but there's
okay,
some old stuff on there. So
okay. Well, make sure to go check him out. I will post everything that he does on there. He has some very, very good series to go check out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this one, and as always, go Cats.